Back in the year 2000, the UN General Assembly adopted the Millennium Development Goals, one of which was to eradicate hunger and poverty by the year 2015. One of their immediate targets was to halve the number of people who are living on less than $1 a day. Right now, that's about 1 billion people. Today we're in Copenhagen, Denmark. Behind me is the Stock Exchange building. In 2004, a group of respected world economists met in this city. Their goal was to prioritise world problems based on where economic resources could be put to best use. In what's been called the Copenhagen Consensus, they agreed that one of the world's top priority challenges, and one where results could be achieved, is reducing malnutrition and hunger. Then in 2005, many thousands of people came together across the world for a unique music event called Live 8. They came together from all walks of life, from across the ethnic and generational divide, not just for a musical celebration, but to make a statement. Effectively, they were saying, we believe that poverty can be ended, and we'd like to be a part of achieving that. So it seems there's been a growing public consensus all around the world that in an age of high-tech and globalization, we ought to be able to do something to end the blight of extreme poverty. It can't be right that 850 million people are chronically malnourished all the time, when for just a relatively small investment of world income, we could produce reliable food supplies, control diseases, and even lift nations out of debt. So what are the factors that contribute to extreme poverty? Well, one, of course, is population growth. Every month there are 7 million extra mouths to feed in the world, and the world's population will reach 9.5 billion by the year 2050. 20 years after that, says the UN, it might begin to decline. Of course, while the global population is growing, so is the world's economy. And the gap between average individual incomes in rich nations and poor nations is shrinking. So some of the poor are doing better, but not the poorest of the poor, who tend to be stuck at the bottom. Every year, 10 million children will die simply because their families, their communities, and their nations are too poor to sustain them. Rising food prices are another real problem, especially for people who rely on food imports. Sadly, even when prices are low, millions will still starve. That's because the poorest of the poor live in outlying areas, eking out a living on meagre land holdings, a long way from where food is distributed.